Hello. I'm trying to work out how to get this up on my laptop so that I can see comments and stuff. So let me do that and then we'll get started. You're welcome to paint with me. Hello. You're welcome to paint with me as well, or we can just hang out. I've never done this before, so I'm not really sure what exactly is going on, but that's okay, I guess. So we're gonna do rainbows for sure. Hi, Lily. And we're not gonna use the Lomley Paris book because it's all in one color order, but I thought we could go through together and just decide what shape rainbows to do. So I'm gonna flip through and then just, yay, Art Trip's painting along, thank you. Let me know what shape you guys think we should do, and then we can get painting. And you guys can paint the same shape as me, different shape. You can just listen. Somehow I work out how to talk for an hour straight. Don't really know how that works, but that's okay. This, I think, could be kind of cool for the rainbows. The thing that's interesting when you do multiple colors is the colors aren't always going to connect in the same way. So it might be red, orange, yellow, but then somewhere else the orange connects with the green, and my brain's a little like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. So I kind of want to do a singular line one where it really is going to be in order. Anyways, that's option one. Let me know what you think of that. We kind of just did a multicolored square one, the highlighter one, if you saw that. I was also thinking we could do like different shapes on the page, kind of like this style, and then they grow outwards, and those are different colors. I'm not so sure. Of course, we're going to be using all these palettes over here. We'll go through them together. You can use any palette you want. You can use pencils, markers. I really like, oh, this could be a good one actually. I feel like maybe we do this. Let me know what you think, because we could do like, I think that's gonna be the move. But let's just keep going and see. Does anyone know how I can pull up this live on my laptop? Because I wanna see the comments as I'm painting, and I don't know how to do that. So if you know, please let me know. This is one of my favorites, leaves. Holly leaves, that was around Christmas. This is one of your guys' favorites. I really like it too, actually. It's like a thicker version of this guy, and it's a bit sparkly. Hi, Gina. Hello. So if you're just joining, we're trying to work out what shape to do with our rainbows, because the multiple color changes things a bit. And I'm also trying to work out, oh, how do I, you know what? I don't really know what's going on here. Trying to pull myself up. Okay, so we have waves. This is kind of an interesting one too, but it's zigzagged like this red one, but this was one line that we went both ways from. And this I did 3 lines and then filled in each section, and it's a much crunchier look than something like this. And this has these kind of natural stripes that happen, or sections where the curves went, and it just has this different effect. And this one's a little more all over the place. Search your YouTube account on your laptop. Okay, let's try to do that. Oh, maybe I can't, because I'm logged in. I'm gonna log out and try that. Oh, the fish, I love the fish. I haven't been through this book in ages, actually, so we can do that together. Okay, we're logging out. Here we go. Thank you so much for that tip. Oh, but it's me talking. God forbid. Oh, but it's me talking. Can you hear that? Okay, cool. So we are good. This is a wavy version of this kind of one. I feel like it's fun to paint the curves, especially on live. So I think that's what we'll do, but let's get to the end of this now that we've committed, hey? Butterflies, look what happened here. That's kind of cool. This paper is obviously handmade, and so everything's a little different, and it has these like random splotches and folds, and they're not all exactly the same, and I really love that. Like, there's a seed there. Don't know why, but it just makes things a little more fun. And I know I say this a lot, but blank pages are kind of intimidating, and having some bit of something else just, I feel like, lessens the pressure. Although this right there is chocolate chip from my cookie, but it was a Bristol Farms chocolate chip cookie, so it was worth it. Love this one, all the detail. Do you guys want to see right now like lots of little kind of detail-y bits like this, or would you rather it was something smoother, I guess, if that makes any sense? Let me know what you think. This is one I just posted. Maybe you saw this. I love this guy. Little paws. Oh, I was gonna go get my kittens next time. This one, whoa, this looks so, it looks like velvet almost. I want to touch it. I just posted this one yesterday. And now we're here. However, we're not going to use this book because these are single colors. I can give you a sneak peek at something I just made, actually. This one for $4.20, and it has shimmery leaves. And I used this Lena Bean Studio Green that we all loved so much. I made a little crater in it. But it's so opaque and matte. It's fab. And then I thought we'd do these little guys. Anyways, I filmed that. That's gonna be our little 420 activity. I'm gonna find a paper that doesn't have anything on it, like so. Hello from Washington State. Oh, my sister lives in Washington State in Seattle. I actually need to go visit. Haven't done that yet. Okay, so anyways, let's get rolling. So if you're painting too, we need our paper. We have all our colors here. It's a lovely Saturday morning. I'm still in my pajamas and I have my coffee, and we're just going to be very lo-fi this morning. Paint, chat a little bit, and have a nice little time. So you're gonna need your paper, water cup, coffee if it's the morning for you. Smoother beginner tangles. Okay, you got it. Then, oh, sorry, I kind of have many thoughts going on all the time, but we're about to fix that with the Zentangle. We need paper towel. I'm actually using a little pile of them just because the water runs through pretty quick. And then a brush. I'm gonna use the Princeton round number 2. And then I make color charts of all my palettes so I can see what we're working with, because the colors just don't always look the same when they're in their little homes than when they're on the paper. So like this is 2 layer, well, both of these are 2 layers actually, because it also changes depending on how many layers you do. So like this green and this green are different. And I might want this one, not this one, so I know to do 1 versus 2 layers, etc. It's kind of like a cheat sheet that I make for myself. So this is for this one. This is a Kuretake Gansai Tambi palette, and they have this built-in area where you can do your swatching. So I did that myself. Sometimes they do it for you, but it's not really the same. So we're going to potentially use some of that. I haven't decided my colors yet. We're gonna just go with the flow and do whatever feels right. This palette that I get asked all the time what it is, and I just don't know because I can't read this, but if anyone knows, let me know. It was my mom's, and I'm pretty sure she got it in Tokyo. So yeah, see, they give you some colors here, but they're just not the same, and they're not in the same order, and I like to make my own. And then we have the classic, this fold-up one, which is from Xylee, and it is not sold anymore. Heartbreak. So there's that. The dimensions of the paper, Gina asks, are 7 by 10. And this is a mixed media paper, so it's pretty thick, but it's not as thick as a watercolor paper, which this is something I'm kind of working on, is much thicker. But because we're not doing a final piece, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so can everyone see okay? You're welcome. I'm still learning how to not get my hand in the way, and so if it is, just holler and I will try my best. I think what we're gonna do is the squiggles, and we're going to start with red. I actually don't always start my rainbows with red. First cat hair of the video, there we go. But I feel like doing that today. So let's have a little look. Maybe we start with a kind of pinky red, maybe like this, and then we can do pink and purple above it, and then the rest will go down in rainbow order. So we're gonna look here, that is this. When we line it up, that is this one here. I'm gonna put these aside. And I always try and have things as close to me as possible because it just makes life easier, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to activate the watercolor. Get that in the camera. And I'm losing paint in the water when I do this, but that's just how I do it. Okay, so I'm gonna start up here. We're just gonna make a nice little curve. And so see, as we go, the water is going to be used up and the pigment. And so when I come back with more of that, I kind of like to go back into it and add some more while it's still wet, just for consistency. It's the evening here in Germany. Oh, yay, hello. I know an ambition of German. That sounds so nice. So what we're going to do is not plan any of this. I have an idea of how I want it to look because we looked at that inspo page earlier, but I'd been thinking yesterday about planning exactly what I was going to do today, and then I thought, you know what, actually, I want to interact with you and see how you feel about everything, but also the point of these is not to plan, as I mention regularly, you know, and so I think that would kind of take away part of the element if I were to do that. So we're just gonna see what happens, and we're gonna lean into whatever that is in this nice little morning. So here this is thicker because I was pressing the brush down because of the angle I had, and I actually don't mind that. So that's happening. If you have any questions about the process or anything, just ask. And otherwise, I'll kind of annotate some things as we go, but otherwise we can just listen to the birds chirping. Sometimes I swear that I'm high and I'm not. Don't know what's going on. Okay, let's look at the rest of our colors here. So I want to move into more of a red. I think this one makes sense. And then going down the color spectrum. Yeah, so with these reds, there's a lot of them, and it can be kind of tricky to find the exact one. I'm gonna move that so I don't spill on it, and we can work out which one we're doing. So we're going for this one here. So I will go to the brown that I know where that is here. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This one. Bring back our paper. And oh, I got something on my paper over there. We're going to go below the one we just did, and we're going to follow the line as best we can. It's a little wet here, so what I'm gonna do is just turn this so my nice pajama doesn't get in it. That was a really long stroke, huh? It's also way pinker than I had thought, but pink's nice. So sometimes I will go back in and clean up the line, like right here, if it didn't connect so well, if I had taken the brush up and put it back down, or also if I just had a bit of a shaky angle. So like there, I'm gonna go back and clean it up. Ooh, and there too. We're gonna get this gesture out. I like as little starting and stopping as possible. Stopping and starting. So we're just gonna kind of like smoothing it out. And then this does, of course, affect exactly how the line goes, but I feel like doing that. And the best part of all this is we're making our own rules. It doesn't really matter if it's exact, because the point, oh, we didn't discuss our intention, my bad. My intention is to have a nice little morning time, and so if it makes me happy to clean it up or connect or change the rules halfway, that's what's happening. Cute! I love when the paint pools in different areas and we get these stark differences. Thanks, Jasmine. Jasmine said it's relaxing. I'm socializing this afternoon, and I socialized last night, and that's kind of a lot for me, so I need to get my like peace time in right now. Okay, we're gonna go back to our color sheets. Do you know what? This is more pink than I thought. I don't want to go back and force oranges when that's not the progression of what we've been doing. So maybe we just lean into pink. What do you think? That rhymes. Maybe we do this one. I got a really nice fluorescent pink. Did you guys see this earlier? How cool is that? I don't know if we'll use it. I'll put it out. TBD. Okay, so now we're going to use this pink, which as you can see, I've used quite a bit. Okay. Now this is gonna be a skinny little area. I tend to look at what we're working with before and kind of familiarize myself with what I think is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is I'm gonna go in, around, and then I'm gonna touch the same line on the way out. Not quite there. Just for the sake of communicating with myself, I guess. Okay, I'm liking this color. So with this kind of angle, it's tricky to spin the brush like that without the bristles kind of flailing. So what I like to do sometimes is go from a place where I have good control level and do that stroke. And then I will go back in and kind of use the tip of the brush to almost draw what it should be. And then smooth that out to match the rest of the lines. If you're painting along, what are you painting? I would love to know. When I was in middle school and high school, my bedroom was this color, pink, that we're doing. Again, that was gonna give me a better level of control. And then this little guy, we're just gonna go in and edit. Watching while you cook, that's such a good idea. I love having a little something on when I cook. Now we're gonna turn the page because this is gonna give me the best angle. And by best angle, I mean, where can I have the most control for the longest? And I would like to clean that up. And when I clean up, I don't go only to the cleanup bit, I'll go a little before and a little after so it's a smoother transition. Okay, pink, beautiful. These pinks, I think, are kind of running out. I've got this palette in 2020. Oh, actually we have a few. And obviously I love it, so I've been using it a lot. I reckon we can do this one. That's a nice one, which is right here. Sip of coffee. So now it's getting a little exciting. We have a little negative space there, here as well. And then we're gonna start to get some corners where the lines touched and closed in, and also here. And so it's just gonna really transform as we float down the page. So I'm gonna swap my palettes around so that I am not dragging over anything. Activate this color. I think of it as like tickling the paint to wake up. Okay. Wow, I just love pink. The tips can be funky to get right, so we're gonna crisp that up after. The little fuzz right there. And this I would like to crisp as well. So does this mean we're doing purple next? I, for some reason, don't feel like doing that. I don't know why. I feel like I've been doing a lot of purple recently. I think maybe we'll do the light pink in the Kuretake, and then maybe that will turn into peach, but we'll see when we get there. Cleanup crew. Cleanup crew was, maybe this is kind of universal, but in like high school when we'd throw a party and then the cleanup crew would stay and tidy at the end, and you hoped the person you fancied was also in cleanup crew. Reminds me of that. Did I say that? Thanks, Christelle loves the colors. Me too. This is actually a good shape for not having to move the paper around so much. When it's something like a star or something with lots of points, I want to get a good angle on all of them so that there's a lot of shifting. Okay, so we've done this lovely pink line, and now, I just said that, but we're going to shift to get into these little bits, and then we're going to go back to our regular position. Okay, Jackie thinks I should do orange too. Great, me too. And we're just going to use the tip to draw in the shape because it's a little too small to do a actual full line. Ooh, need to concentrate here. Okay, cute. Oh no, my head's actually getting into it. I don't feel like being on camera today. Okay, here. I always say okay to myself, like why? What am I trying to do? And then this is kind of bubbly, so I wiped my brush off. Ooh, pretty on there, huh? And then I'm gonna kind of just use the empty brush to soak up some of the paint and pop the bubbles because bubbles can be a bit volatile. And then I'm gonna go back into that wet area and just add some pigment. This isn't the smallest brush I have at all. I have extremely teeny tiny ones, but for some reason I feel like it gives me the most control because the tip is so tippy. Okie dokie, now that I'm looking at this could use some adjusting, so we'll go in and do that. Nini Panini can never get the smooth lines. I have so much practice on this, so it's just become this, I guess. We're now gonna use this pink. Activate, wake up, little pink. You can also use a spray bottle on these, but not today. Christelle speaks all the time when she's painting. Honestly, it makes it more fun. I feel that so much. Oh, you want to crisp. Sometimes it can be a little too much water to crisp it up as crisply as I'd like, so it's something we'll come back to. I'm kind of tempted to, for Pride Month, do only rainbows and tangles. I feel like that would be appropriate and so fun. But we'll see, because I was gonna say I don't know how many different ones I could do. I feel like there must be so many. I quite like when they're one color. I know you guys like when they're multiple colors, but we gotta come to a compromise of some sort. I feel like this is the anti-Coachella activity. Like everyone's partying in a desert, and we're sat here in our pajamas being slow. I like it. And then this little space we've just made, I think, is going to be too tiny to put anything in. Well, it is for sure. And it's just cool to have the variety of some totally filled in and then some with pocket. Oh, I'm so glad it relaxes you to paint, Mimi. It does look like a roller skating rink. Oh, I can't wait to see this finished. It's going to be so interesting. I haven't done one exactly like this. That green one, if you're new, I'll show you what the green one is we keep going on about. This one I actually also did on a live. Was anyone there? That was on TikTok though. I did a few lines. So this was one, and then you kind of filled in the spaces in between, and we're not gonna have that in the same way because we're just doing one line, but this, just for comparison, and have a little look. Oh my gosh, my mouse matches my painting. That's nice. Okay. Now let's get our little colors back. I'm also only gonna do matte colors on this piece. Well, I obviously have lots of really pretty shimmer ones. Oops, sorry. We could do a shimmer rainbow at some point. But I think I'd just be so spoiled for choice, it might be debilitating. So we're just gonna do the non-shimmer. Okay, let's have a look at our palettes. And I would love to move into oranges. So do we have a peach? I feel like I do have a peach. This one, right? What is that though? This one ran out. That was my favorite. Am I blind over here? Oh, it's one of these. See, that doesn't look so peachy when you actually put it down on the paper. And I also don't want to mix a color because that's just a whole other thing. But did you guys see the tie-dye ones I've been doing? I love those. I want to do more like that. You know what? Do you think we should just try this? I think so. Whatever. It's the weekend. It's a little dirty from when I guess I last used it, so I'm gonna go like this and wet the surface layer and then just take it off the little corner of my paper towel that I can't seem to throw away. And then I just take off the top layer. Need to do that on there too, but maybe I'll just do a bit of a cleanup day later. I try and clean up as I go because I don't like to come back to mess. This was my mom's and it was so messy, she didn't clean up at all. So I guess everyone is just different. We listen and we don't judge. Okay, here we go with our nice peachy shade. Oh, you have to go to a party soon, but you don't want to? Feel that. It'll be fun though. Sometimes if I don't want to go to a party, I'll like make myself a little kind of bingo in my head of, okay, I need to find someone who's an Aries, someone who's from New Jersey, and then another topic of choice, like someone who has a black cat, and then you can kind of have a little game with yourself. I like to do that sometimes. Oop, just gives it a little level of interest, you know? I learned that kind of in where I went to boarding school and we went to church all the time, like most days. But one day we had a sermon and the priest, told us, we were all kids and we like didn't always want to listen to what was going on, and he was like, you know what's fun if someone's talking a lot is to play the alphabet game. So as I speak, hear me say a word that begins with A, B, C, D, all the way down, and try and make it all the way through the alphabet game, through the alphabet. Like, kind of like when you're driving, you can do that too, with billboards if you're on like a road trip. And hold on, we're gonna pause that story because it's time for orange. Thanks, Jackie. I feel like this and then this, but that's a little yellowy. Just giving myself a moment to think here. Clea, hello. Let's do, actually, you know what? We're gonna eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch a tiger by the toe. If it hollers, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. That one it is. Okay, and then we're gonna find it in our little thing here. And from the yellow, it's one up, which looks kind of like, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I don't want to do that. I want to do the one above this one. I don't know. I think it's gonna come out a little too yellow. Anyways, where was I in my story? So, as he's doing the sermon, obviously we're thinking, okay, he said a word with A, B, C, D, and he was so sweet. At the end of his sermon, he mentioned like a xylophone and then a zebra, just so we could all get to the end. And I always thought that was so fun because I was listening, but also I was playing the game. It was a Sunday morning. I was 16. I was thinking about what I was going to go do that afternoon. And so I try and apply that just like game element to stuff sometimes. Thanks, Clea. I have a lot of practice with this. Oh, I see a cleanup we're going to want to do. Okay, confirmed. I'm happy we did this color. I think this is a great transition. Also, I think after this orange, we're gonna go back and finish the top of the page. And then we can come back down here. But I wanna see it as a waterfall effect. So I'll have the whole picture. So what I do in the corners to get them pointy is I'm pressing down a certain amount as I'm doing the line, right? And then I'm gonna lift the brush higher and higher until just the tip is touching, and that's what, that wasn't great because I did it on top of another one, but that's what gets us the little, the diversity and the thickness. like so. And then I want to go do this tip, and I'm going to just get some paint from here and do that. Do you want to be closer? Does my whole family paint? No, my mom was a painter. She was an oil painter, and she did watercolor too, but great oil painter. I have some of her paintings all over my house. My dad is a landscape architect, and so he uses color pencils a lot, but he designs and plans gardens, which it's kind of natural painting almost, like painting with earth. If you want to think of it that way, like from above. Oh, there's a hummingbird outside my window, and I just mentioned my mom. That's so funny. That happens sometimes. Hummingbirds represent like your ancestors and people who have died, and they're saying hi, and it's red. Wow. Hello, Mom. She would be so jealous I'm painting right now. She loved painting, and we also would paint together all the time, and it was so nice. Okay, and then, yeah, so that's my dad, and then my sister is a scientist, but she's also extremely creative, and she does fiber arts a lot, so she loves crochet, she can sew anything, she makes me all kinds of cool things, but that's her hobby more than her job. Okay, we're gonna move into doing the red on top. Look how different that looks red, and then that looks pink, but it's just different, what's the word, concentrations of the same color. Okay, oh my gosh, thanks, Elizabeth. And then my grandpa could draw anything, and my uncle is also an artist. But then a lot of my family is musical, and I do not have one iota of that gene. Anyways, let's pick our color, shall we? Okay, so we could do this red here. We just did that one, or we could do this or this. I feel like this one. Oopsie daisy. And so that's gonna be here. I'll put it above my situation, and then we can move into the red. So we're still going to do the reds, but not in the way we might have expected. But that's cool. And I have it at this angle because, hold on. Because I don't want to lean too much on what I did before. Oh, that wasn't as clean as I'd liked it to be. Oh well. What we do here is I'm going to wet the brush, clean it off, and then just kind of blend that in a little. And then I'm going to pick it up from here because that's going to give me the best control. And how I know what gives me the best control is just kind of trial and error, and like having done this a lot, this brush is like my most used tool. So I'm just really familiar with how it rolls. So it's kind of innate at this point, I would say. I might afterwards put this up on my website as a print. That could be fun. Are you guys here from TikTok, or did you find me on YouTube? I'm very curious about that. Let me know. This color makes me hungry for some reason, even though I just had breakfast. Okay, then we're gonna clean that up. As we get to the edge of the page, my little wrist is, oops, look, I just smudged it because it was still wet. I'm gonna clean this off as much as I can and then try and just kind of erase it. A little wet. And then once that dries, we can go in. Okay, not bad, not bad. And add more to the colors it was touching. But before this dries, we're gonna get back to it. I actually think we should turn this here. Whoa, this one's all over the shop. TikTok, okay, thanks for letting me know. I love doing these big curves that go all the way around. And then on this one, we're going to go all the way to the edge of the page on the Zentangle book. I don't usually do that because the edges are deckled. Wow, cool. I like it. Okay, so next time we do a correction, could you please zoom in? Yes, for sure. Okay, next, let's go back to our little color chart. This is a very warm red, I would say. And, oh, does this mean we're going to go to orange on this side too? I guess so. That is interesting. Hadn't thought about that. Let's see what we would naturally do if I wasn't factoring that in. Okay, so we just did one of these two. I think now we should do this one here. So that is in the center of this mystery palette that we have. I'm gonna shuffle things around. There is a lovely helicopter. Thank you so much. Thanks, Annie. Okay, let's go in a little closer. Should we turn? Yeah, and I'm gonna be super careful of, see, it barely even looks like I made a smudge, does it? I was gonna say mistake, caught that. Okay, activate this watercolor. So this makes the most sense to go in like that, bring it round, and then go back and clean up. Hopefully you can see this better. And I'm just gonna use the tip of my brush to paint, draw, I guess, where the line should be. And as long as we have the gesture out, so like the original way our hand wants to go, then we can finagle the rest. Trying to decide on the best way to do this without smudging. Then there's a lot of paint going on here, so I'm not going to redip. I'm just going to go back into what I have down on the paper already, because there's an abundance. Paint the bottom line, and then paint the top of the line, connect. Okay. Now here we have an interesting little bit happening where we're going to go in, make a bubble, touch our line on the way out. So I'm going to go right here because that feels best to me. Connect. And then same here. Sorry if my hand is right in the way right now. And then we're going to draw that in. if at the end of this you're still here and interested, I'll go get the kittens and introduce you to them. I know I promised I'd post them soon, so I will. I had a busy day yesterday. Okay, we're gonna connect here, pull the shape down. I sense we're going to start making a corner over here. Now, this is not an echo of this kind of more U shape we have. So I'm gonna go down and fill it in to be more reflective of what was before, because that feels better in my mind. There we go. That's almost a perfect little raindrop, isn't it? Raindrop is the name of one of my little kittens. Lovely. Kittens. Oh no, you got some paint on your shirt. Yeah, that happens. Okay, cool. I love how kind of thick and juicy this is looking. So now let's look at our color charts, and I'm gonna do a reddy orange. Oh, actually, let's go back and fix this little bit that smudged. So I'm just gonna clean off my brush. Take you a little higher for this. Clean off my brush. That's a nice color paint. Just have a little water and then get some of this pigment here. Fill it in like that. And then we're gonna do the same for the light pink, which is right here, still a little wet. Okay. Nobody's gonna know. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Neria. I love these colors too, very warm. I think we're gonna get into green, but I don't know if we'll get into blue, but we could do blue next time. If you guys wanna do it next time. Feels like a first date. All right, orange, let's go. Do you know what I think we can do? Now that I am looking at everything, I'm glad we didn't go into a rush decision. Maybe we'll make this orange go into yellow and we'll make this red go into deep orange. So it is still two spectrums of the shade, just for variety. So we're going to look for quite an orangey orange, or we do want a bit of a reddy orange, which I think might be this guy here. Now this is becoming a corner, so I'm just gonna put my tip of my brush with it and take it around. Do you guys have predictions for how this shape is gonna turn out? I think it's gonna become much, like here is really energy. It'll become much smoother, kind of like that single line wave one we did a few weeks ago. It's interesting, these dried out and are gonna pick up in the same place, so I must have been at the same angle when I did that one and the position expired, and same here. I like to see how that happens. It's kind of like a clue of what I was doing last, if we want to be treasure hunty about it, which I always want to be treasure hunty about things. Then for this corner, I'm gonna take my tip, and as I move along, press a little heavier on the brush and pick back up to get the other tip. Oh, we're getting our first triangle. That's fun. I'm glad we didn't rush into the color decisions because I really like how things are just naturally becoming. Oh, Jackie thought the same about yellow. Great minds think alike, eh? It's gonna look so cute. I need some water. Hold on. I do feel like I kind of speak color sometimes. Okay, and then I want this to be a little more aligned, so I'm gonna pull this along. Oh, we have a little bit of fuzz or something. I don't know where it all comes from. Okay, love it. So now we need to go into this raindrop here. And I'm gonna do the drawing it out shape technique because it's too small to do a proper line. Lovely. Next, we're going to move into a more classic orange. So we're gonna get that ready. And then while I'm at this angle, I'm going to do the center of this triangle here with this orange. And this is very tiny, so I'm actually just gonna like dab the tip of my brush until we make a triangle shape. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. Is this a good distance? Then I kind of like to do the line that's bigger, the segment that's bigger first, because that'll dictate how things go. So we're gonna move around this shape as far as we can go, and then we'll come back and fill in this part. Clean up. So now, just for a little compare and contrast moment, you know how we talked about how this I must have picked up in the same place? The line has now transformed enough to the point where that angle wouldn't make sense for me anymore. Like these actually go like this, boop, boop. It's actually really far around, and this one's much shorter, so I could do it in one stroke. Just interesting to observe how things change like that. Way too much on that brush, actually, so I'm gonna dab that. I feel like doing something like this is kind of just like cloud spotting, a super slow activity that you only can really appreciate if you take the time for it and like choose to be doing something slow. And it always clears my mind when I do that. That wasn't my best connection, but we can fix it. Pick up and scooch around. I like how that flails out a little bit. Ouch. Oh my God. gosh, you're one of my favorite teachers. Oh, YouTubers. Oh my god, thanks. So funny, I don't think of myself as a YouTuber, but I guess we are here on YouTube Live together, aren't we? Do you have a favorite brush? I do, Sarah. It's this one, the Princeton Round number 2. And it is a super common one. It will be at any art store. I also have the link in my Amazon shop, but if you want the specific, but it's not hard to find out in the wild. Okay, so let's have a little reflection moment, shall we? This shade and this shade are right next to each other on the color spectrum. This one I want to start turning yellow. This one I think might also start turning yellow, to be honest, but let's flip back from what we've been doing, go here, see how this looks, and then maybe we'll want to do something different there. Maybe we won't. We shall see. So let's look at our chart. Wow, remember we were going to do that one and then we didn't? That is the one that now makes sense to do next. And I had a feeling, remember? I was like, I just don't want to do it. This one, I think. Always trust your little gut. I'm gonna wet this guy here. Yay, yes, I like how that looks. Okay, cool. Sometimes you have to commit to something before you know if it's the right idea. And that's always a little stressful. I mean, we're just doing some colored lines. It's not a life or death situation, but I feel like this is the perfect place to practice doing something like that. And then the more you do it and the more you can trust yourself, I feel like the less chaotic life is. So I like to take these pretty seriously, but not too seriously where I'm actually stressed, because that is the antithesis of what we're doing. So if we just take a moment to look at each line individually, this one kind of looks like a cumulus nimbulus, I think it's called, cloud, right? Boom, 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 boom. Whereas these reddy ones are much squigglier. But then together they all make sense. Just interesting to see that. Now we're gonna do a golden yellow. These are very similar. I think this, not me doing that again. We'll do this one. And then definitely this yellow. Just did it again. Love that yellow from this mystery palette. Okay, so that would be this guy here. Oh my gosh, it's just a happy accident it's lesbian colors. We didn't even plan it. That is the definition of a happy accident. Okay, I'm gonna crisp this up. Reflect that a little more because we've got a bit of a wave, okay. And then pull it round and crisp up. Lift the brush so we get that point. Okay. Yes, I can replace the colors in my palette. I can get little tubes of watercolor and then put them in. I'll do that for sure because I love the shape of this palette. It's just the best for traveling. And as you can see, a lot of them have run out because I love them so much. I'll need to redo this because I don't know if I can get the exact shades again, but the shape of it I want to keep. I'm about to travel for a month, and it's so hard for that amount of time to decide what paints to bring because I want to bring them all, but I just have one little suitcase. They're not little, but I usually bring like a 50-pound bag, and this time we're doing just a smaller one because I have a lot of bopping around and I'm not trying to drag that thing all over. So I think I'll probably just do 1 or 2 palettes. Oh, thanks, Aditi. So calming. It's calming for me too. I feel like I just get less pissed off when I've been doing these. Not that I really ever get that pissed off. That's not my personality, but maybe, what's the word? Irritated. And then I'm gonna blend that in a bit. I really like yellow. It's gentle. But after yellow is chartreuse, and I don't know what it is, I just don't like that color. I don't know why, but we have other really pretty greens. Let's use this lime green from the Kuretake. Okay. Yeah, the steadier hand, it's just a practice thing. I mean, I also, making this a bit messy. This is just, I've kind of always had a steady hand, but you know, we all have different skill sets. I can't do math, for example, but practice definitely helps. Yeah, it's crazy how the speed of things change. Like this, I can so much more confidently just swoosh around. Are we gonna make it? Oh my God, we are. Whereas when it's these little divots, I have to be so much more careful to control the brush around the corners. So it's like a few different feelings in one, which is fun. I like that. Would I tell you some of my travel plans? I'll tell you some of my travel plans. I have a wedding in San Francisco in a few weeks. I'm very excited. Or it's in NorCal, but I'm gonna go to San Francisco for a couple days, see some friends. I think they have quite cool museums there. I also love Japantown, all the stationery stores, so I'm gonna go stock up there. Then I'm gonna go to London for a few weeks. I grew up in London, and so I just love going back there, and I'm gonna see a bunch of my friends, have a nice little time, just really chilled. And then I'm gonna go to Mallorca because I have another wedding. I've never been to Mallorca, actually. I'm very excited. And then I'm gonna go to the south of France because my bestie had a baby in February, the one I made the baby book for, if you remember that or have seen that. And I'm gonna meet her, hang out with her for a week or so. Gonna be great. I'm just thinking out loud here. Well, that wasn't very out loud, but let's pull up our color charts and see what we want to do next. This is quite similar to that. I think that's gonna be an or. Or is it? I changed my mind, because look at it. I know it looks different in the trays, but I'm having a suspicion that this is the one. All right, let's move this stuff around again. Do I speak French? No, not really. I learned it in school in my My dad speaks French and my grandma lived there, but I have kind of forgotten most of it. I can like get by and order stuff and flirt a little bit, I guess, but that's all. Oh yes, I like this color. Kind of looks like Skittle green. Thanks, Arna. Yeah, I'm so excited for this trip. I live in LA, if you didn't know, and I feel like LA is the perfect place to live for 2/3 of the year. So I like to skedaddle when I can and just see different places, get a new vibe. Also, as an artist, it's super important to just like stay inspired, and I do that by seeing new things. So technically it's for work, right? Not really. But I count it. I'm also Sagittarius, so I love traveling. But I don't love carrying my suitcase, but the yin and the yang, right? Blend that out a little. Okay, cool. Which line was the first one? The first one was this kind of magenta, ruby, pinky red right here. And then we did a few down, and then we did a few up, and now we're going down to see what kind of happens, and then we're gonna finish the top there. So let's again look at Go Create Freely. That is the best thing to do. And you can, like, we made our own, what's the word? Boundary or template here, right? Like with that first line. And I love these because the line that you do first just totally dictates how the piece is gonna go. And you're just kind of in a flow state making stuff, but it gives you like different guardrails to get to that same feeling, which I enjoy. Okay, we're doing a green next. Yes, which do we want to do? Do we want to go like a turquoisey green, or do we want to go more like a tree green? I'm kind of feeling the turquoisey route. I think that'll be pretty with the pinks and stuff. What made you start a YouTube? I was posting these on TikTok, and I had loads of comments saying people would love to watch an hour or so of these. And I was like, oh damn, all right. And people asked me to start one, so I said sure. That was in December. And I like it. I don't have to edit the videos when I do them for YouTube because it's just kind of one go, which is nice because I spend a lot of time editing. Anywho, let's do a bit of a darker green and then move into the turquoises. I do like this one, but I fear it might be ultra similar to what's going on here. Also, let's check our palette and see if we even have, I think it's gonna be too similar. I think we should do this green right here. And then we'll, yeah. The Zen tangle would go hard on a beach frock. That is so true. Or like a beach towel, that would be cool. This is gonna be quite a stark difference. Prepare yourselves. I used to put my art on stuff a lot. Like I have some beach towels with this leopard I made, and I just haven't really been focusing on that recently because it's a little tricky to deal with inventory as a one-woman band, so I should do more stuff later. I used to do sweatshirts and stuff all the time. Those are my crazy neighbors, which if you're here from TikTok, you probably know all about. But if I did products with my art on it, what kind of thing would you want to see? So look how different this line is. We basically have this big swoop happening in the middle. we definitely need cleanup crew over here. So I look at where the furthest out bit is, and I will turn that into this line from this side, and I will turn it into this line from this side. Cute. Tote bags, that would be nice. That's a good idea. Brianna has no problem growing your collection of mediums. Feel that in my bones. Yeah, I art store hates to see me coming. There's always something else I need. But in my defense, I pretty much use everything I have. Like, maybe not often, but I feel like it's important to have, we're gonna do this color now. Mediums, because creativity is not just an ever-flowing tap. Like, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not so on. Oh wait, do we want to do this color, or do we want to do one of these? I think this one. Change of plans. And so if I have an idea, I like to act on it in that moment, like seize the creativity while it's happening, and I don't want to in that moment be like, oh gosh, I gotta go to the store and get XYZ. So that's my defense for why it's good to have a lot of supplies. So that happens because I had a fingerprint on the page. This is gonna be tight. There we go. So after this, I was going to clean the apartment and then go to this rooftop thing. However, I'm really feeling that creativity I was just talking about, and I started this new piece, like a nostalgia I Spy kind of piece yesterday, and I kind of want to work on it after this, so I might do that instead. Okay, I'm happy with this nice green line. Silky crayons sound gorgina. Okay. Wow, interesting how much this has changed. How are we feeling? I knew that was gonna happen. But you know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna panic. Gonna take a little. Luckily it's dry, so I can dab. And then it has wet what was below. But we can just go fix that. So I'm gonna take a clean brush. Oh, not me getting my hand in there. What is going on? And try and take out as much as I can from the middles. I see comments a lot where people say if I messed up, I just throw the whole thing out. But that's not a good attitude. You would have worked so hard on what you had done. There's always ways to fix things. And I guarantee when we're done, we're not gonna notice this at all. Like this, remember we did it there? It was me. Can we even tell? No. Okay, now I wanna move into like a kind of turquoisey situation. A lot of the turquoises on here I have finished. I love this and also this, but this one's a little more blue. So let's go find that one on our page. It can be hard to find. Here's those 3 greens and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 greens, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's this guy. Activate. Soon it's just going to become one line, this bit. Oh look, there's the other side of the smudge. That's kind of cool. They're like communicating across the blank space. That could be metaphoric in so many ways. I also feel like the lines are kind of getting thicker. What do you think? We're seeing the rainbowness now. How fun. Oh, yay, Charlotte, I'm glad I inspired you. They're so fun to do. Little talent, lot of joy. Perfect ratio, in my humble opinion. So, should we do this one next? Yes. Move things around. I'm at that stage of my coffee where it's really not warm anymore, but I want it so bad. How are the kittens? Oh my God, thanks for asking. The kittens are so cute. I don't know how I'm just fostering them. I don't know how I'm gonna give them back. It's gonna be very tricky, but they are walking now. They're still very thirsty. They drink about half the bottle that they have every feeding time. And if you want, I can maybe feed them after this. They're so cute. So yeah, they're walking and they're kind of exploring, and I have 2 other cats and they are really not sure what to make of the situation. They find the kittens a bit odd and they're definitely jealous, and the kittens are fearless, and so they'll just run at this pace after the cats, and it's so funny. But they're great. They're so much bigger. They've tripled since I got them. They're now 3 weeks old. Their eyes are open. They have ears. Before, their ears were just like flat little circles on their head. They're so cute. I love them. Okay. I really like this particular transition of 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's really nice. How are we feeling about the orange? I interrupted myself. I think I want to go down the orange spectrum is what I want to do. My water is definitely muddy and I should definitely replace it, but then I'd have to get up. Nah. Okay. Let's go to our orange section of this palette. And do our next shade. Starting here, because that feels best. That's satisfying how it could end right like that. Oh, and then once we do this line, we'll go and edit where we did that little drop. Oh, wait, I don't mind that it fell because my kittens are called Raindrop and Drop Top. And it was a drop. Sweet. Now here I'm going to pick up the corner of the page. Oh wait, can you even see this? Sorry. And so I don't get it on the one below. Lovely. Cats are like, I hate kittens, glad I was never one. Literally. It's so funny. Keeping 2 containers of water. Yeah, that's such a good idea. Really clever. Okay, now we're gonna go into that goldy yellow, which is right here. I am also obsessed with the kittens. It was such a fun little activity to have them. I still have them for 2 weeks. And they're up for adoption if anyone is in California and wants a very sweet little kitten. I'm raising them to be people kittens. So like I hold them all the time. They like belly rubs. They're really sweet. So here, it's just gonna make more sense. I don't know how to explain it, but if I do this one first and then connect them, because this is smaller. So that's, oh, and then we need to do the area that I messed up. Do that. Could have gone all the way, but I was feeling wobbly. Better safe than sorry. So connect here. We have a little something there. Oh my gosh, the kitten's doing commentary over the shorts. That's a good idea. I love Parmesan's commentary. She's a very chatty little cat, that Parmesan. Oops. That's okay. Oops. Okay, let's go back and edit these. Problem is, I don't remember exactly what colors I did. I'm pretty sure, oh God, I'm pretty sure this was this one. I'm gonna get the color out and then I'm gonna, with a clean brush, blend the edges. You'll be able to tell there was something over the top, but it's not gonna be dramatically different. And then see how this is bled? We can go like this and then take these. Out. Okay, now for this one, does anyone remember what that was? Oh my God. Was it this? I think so. Hope so, because that's what we're gonna try. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Nicht schlecht means not bad in German. In a really bad accent, I know. And then we're gonna go for our lovely sunshine yellow, which is one of my favorites. Oh my God, I'm not subscribed to myself. Oh, because I'm not signed in, right? Oops, I forgot to do that middle bit. Well, while I have the paint on the brush, let's do this. And then we're gonna go back quickly, take this color and connect. Okay. Oh no, I've gone off of my live. What happened? Here we go. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to this lovely little yellow. I am from, I was born in New York City and I grew up in London. And for a few years when I was a kid, I lived in New Jersey, is the long answer. But I live in LA now. Okay, we're gonna go from the corner and out. And then again, we have the situation where the line's gonna go over the page. So I'm gonna lift it up so I can see that happening. Give us some dimension. It's hard to, I don't have my wrist down because of the angle, so it's a little wobbly, but that's okay. It's part of the story, I guess. Now, should we do chartreuse? I really don't want to. Let's do this one. Finish this corner, one section done. And then we're gonna go in this bit. This is a shape that we kind of make a lot. It's when two curves, the tops of them come close, and it kind of looks like a volcano to me, upside down. Nice. And then this one, we went to more turquoisey green on this side. Here we can go for more of a foresty green. So I reckon we do this guy here. This is the one I did the Christmas trees in, if you remember those. Oh, there's a hair on my brush. That's gonna be hard to get. I might wait till it's dried. Anyways, interrupted myself. We're gonna finish this stroke. Go from the other side. And connect. Cute. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, duh, over here. Okay. And then we have a tiny little bit of space where we can basically do just a little minuscule forest green. Oh, that wasn't very much pigment. But now that the water has kind of created our boundary for that, I can just put it in the middle and it'll naturally spread. Helicopter, I know. This is Helicopter City. Drives me nuts. Okay, what do we want to do after the forest green? I feel like maybe, I actually don't know. I think let's come back to it and see how the rest looks, shall we? All right. Can you see? Okay. Yeah, wow, interesting how much this has changed, eh? Let's do another blue now. This ultramarine is one of my favorites, but I think we need something in between those two. Maybe this one and then that. That is gonna be moved. This is an X because it has run out. So let's get our palette, do our little dance of where the heck is this color. I don't want to rest this on there, but I'm going to. So brown, 1, 2, 3, brown, 1, 2, 3. This guy, I'll wet it so I know. Not bad. Oh, what happened there? Was that from the bottom of my paper? Oh well. And then we will complete it on this side, and then we have our finished line. Lovely. And then I would, what is that? I would like to go use our ultramarine blue, or should we do another in between? Nah. So here, now that this is majorly one swoop, we can pay more attention to the undulations of it. Like these were kind of smoother as we went around this curve, and now that it's one line, there were connections and whatever, and it's kind of rippled from what was before. So that's what we're gonna pay most attention to on this round. And it'll give the piece a little bit of intrigue beyond just being this one single line. So we're gonna just follow as precisely as we can. Here we're going up, and then we're going down, and then we're going up, and then we're going down. I want to connect that a little better. Nice. Pretty. Now what do we want to do? This is smelling like purple, huh? This is the nicest velvety purple, but I think that's a little bit too much of a jump, don't you? Well, do we have another option? I have this, but that wouldn't make any sense. There is this periwinkle color, but I feel like we're going dark and that would be going backward because it's lighter. So maybe we just do the purple and we see what happens. We make the rules. Love this color so much. Okay, again, start from here and we're going to pay attention to all the undulations. As best we can. And let everything else fall away. And then finish this line over here. So now we've got rid of where it went out here. Look at this cool kind of bend that happens. And we're almost at that big one curve. Boop. Now, we should do this purple, which is a warmer purple. This is much cooler purple, which is going to start to bring us back to the pinks, full circle. And that is in here. And it's going to be this one, which, see, looks super similar when they're hardened, but then when you put the water on them and get them going, they're actually different. Lovely. Now, if you saw the bunnies, this was the color of the bunnies. And I feel like that would be right to do next. I mean, I guess actually we could do this one first. Let's do that. So that was right next to what we just did. And I use it a lot, clearly. To move that out the way. Have another cold sip of coffee. How am I not going clinically insane over helicopters? I don't know. It drives me crazy. I think because I'm just feeling zen, very zen right now. But it's so annoying. They're incessant. I also have an app where I can have a look. Oops, I forgot to finish that. Let's just do this first. I can have a look at where they're going and like what they are, if they're ambulance, if they're just a lot of them, which bug me, are kind of just like joy rides, like people are riding over the city, and I'm like, I'd really rather you rode over the countryside because we can all hear you down here. But I guess it's a cool view for them. But no, it really annoys me, and often I'll be recording and I have to stop and SMH, but you know, I chose to live in the city, so it's part of it. Okay, let's go back. Oh, why did I close that? Go back. But yeah, I wish I had like a background canceling technology or something. Okay, I'm really liking this purple progression, and I'm really glad that we did that line here, because then when we come to do our, oh gosh, look how muddy that water is. This purple, it's gonna make more sense. See, this we can do fast because this is such a pigmented one and I am familiar with the line. Boom. Okay, next I think we should do light pink. Should we do this light pink? Yes. I haven't used that one in quite a while. And then we'll go into the light pink from the Kuretake palette, which we used up here. It's interesting that we're using the same color, but we got to it from a different destination. That's fun to think about. Oh, a lot of ambulances. Yeah, I can actually hear one right now. But we're not gonna let it bug us. We're gonna do our cute little picture, and then we're gonna play with kittens. And I have to socialize. Okay, we have a nice little undulation going here. That's fun. Then we're gonna return to pink. Which pink? I'd say this one. Oops, so see how it's kind of feathery there? That's because there's more pigment than water, but we can go, I don't really like that look, so I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna wet this and blend that. Sometimes I blend it, sometimes I don't. I don't know why I choose that, but I'm gonna go with it. Oh, red spots in your handmade on the yellow line probably looks cool, abstract. Now, what do we do? I feel like we should do something different than what was up there. Maybe this color? Actually, yeah. So that is this one, which I guess I don't use too much compared to the other pinks. And then we can go into like a winey red. Splotches revealed. So, looking at that, I think it could be cool to come into this kind of thing. Oh, Ryan just sneezed. So that is, let's find it. That's gonna be this one. Another helicopter, let's see. Can't tell what that is. pretty. Now, I think we could go into the maroons of the Kuretake palette. Probably maroon, which is this one. Oh, and we have now 2 sections at the bottom. Well, we have 1, 2, and 3 at the top. Let's get this maroon out, and then I think we should flip over and decide what to do about the top. This angle I'm gonna need to change. So we're gonna turn this around. Oh my God, it is giving cotton candy. I haven't had that in a minute. Oh boy. Okay, one side, and then come from here. I'm gonna need to clean up the bottom there. Oop, a kiss. It's bound to be one. Okay, let's look back here. I actually think we could do a teeny bit of that green right here. Just for fun. Nice. Finished cooking, woohoo, what did you make? I still don't know what color I want to do though. Maybe one of these. Maybe this guy. That's really similar to the other side that we did, but a little more, what's the word? Of a dusty undertone. So here, when it's a little volcano like this, I like to take my tip and go in from the center and out and get it on the page below. Whoopsie daisy. Same here. And then we can go in and take the point up. How high we go depends on how the line was before. Oh, that was a crispy one. And then I think we should do a blue with a similar kind of undertone, which I'm gonna take this one. I know this color very well. I use it all the time. And fill that in. Fun. Oh, yum, that sounds really good. Farmer's pancake. Sounds kind of like konomiyaki. My friend Amber, who is the best chef I know, just went to Tokyo for 2 weeks and she's just come back and I'm so excited to see what she makes with her new inspiration. Hopefully I get to eat some, I'm sure. Okay, now let's turn this to the side so we can get a full view of our little piece here. And okay, so obviously we've gone purple, pink, maroon. Should we turn the maroon into red? I think, yeah. So let's take this kind of true red with a bit of a cool undertone, especially compared to this one below it. I don't know what's worse, the cat hair on the end of the brush or the helicopters. I don't understand how there are so many of both of those things. Cool. And then we're gonna repeat that on the other corner. And this color we've already used in this piece, but again, in a different context. It's like wearing your favorite pants, but with a different shirt. And then we can move into a warmer red. So I'm actually gonna take the one right below what we just did. And then we can go, oh, Brian's in here. Come here, bro. I don't think he can get under the camera because he's too big, but I'm petting him. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the oranges, and I would like a darkish orange. Let's do this one. We haven't done this on this piece. And then we'll move into a classic orange. Is this our third classic orange? Might be. Who would have thought we'd have so much orange in this piece? Here I'm really gonna kind of draw it because the page is lifted up, which changes the bounce and gives us less control. And then we'll go into a yellowy orange or a goldy yellow to complete these little corners. And that was our last stroke. Cat hair don't care, sound pollution. Yeah. Okay, oh, sorry, this wasn't in the center. Okay, here we go. There's our piece. So interesting to see how it's spread out so much. Let's play a little game of compare and contrast, if you want to stick around. Okay, so we have this piece here, and we're gonna pull up the Zentangle book. Actually, let's swap this around a bit. Thank you so much. So we were inspired by this guy, as you can see in our original squiggle. And the difference of why, just if you're making your own and you kind of want to have a certain outcome, the reason this is, oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 hours. I really could have said it was 40 minutes. In the zone. Thank you so much. Is this was one line, and then this was another line, and this was another line. So we kind of trapped the section, so we didn't give ourselves the ability to spread out like this. With that, though, come these little kind of like this D here, a lot of little Ds, and a lot of Cassandras happen between the sections, and I thought that might be more difficult to rainbow. So that's why we didn't do it. And then, this is a similar vibe, but a much thicker one, and I also started out with 2. Here is a version if they were closed shapes, these little SpongeBob flowers. What am I looking for here? Oh, and then this is also a similar one of, this is a zigzag version of these curves, but it has these 3 sections so they could kind of stop. If that makes any sense. I love this one. Anything else we can compare to around here? Oh, this is the cloud one I was talking about. Oh no, I was talking about the rain one, or the wave. Was that even in this book? Oh yeah, this one. So this is kind of similar. We did this line in the center, and then it just depleted. Is that the word? I don't know. Outwards. Oh, well, at least you caught the end. We'll do more lives if you guys like this. I don't really know. Okay, why don't you hang here? Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go get the kittens. I've just woken them up, so they're yelling at me. This is Raindrop, Drop Top. Wait till you see their face. Oh, kitten! Hey, girl. This is Raindrop because she has a little raindrop on her paw. They're 3 weeks old, and they're so cute. I just could cry. This is Drop Top. Drop Top. Hi, honey. They're so cute. I don't really bring them in here because they are not a good combo with wet paint, but how cute. I can't. Oh, not on our picture, little girl. So yeah, here's Raindrop and Drop Top. Here's, let me show you both their faces. And I'm training them to be super cuddly. Okay, well they're wriggly, just woken up, but like look how cute. I love them and their little paws. So sweet. The little black toe, I know. I want to keep them so bad, but I need a boyfriend before I get another cat. That I'm not budging on. So yeah, no, I think I'll just keep the two, but I'm gonna find somewhere really nice for these guys to go. Yeah, they're so fuzzy, it's unbelievable. Oh, Drop Top. Hi, honey. And look at their teeth. They just got their little fangs like yesterday. They kind of popped up. Open up. Oh, you're really getting teeth. So cute. Okay, yeah, so that's the kittens. That's the rainbow painting. Thanks so much for joining. And we can do another live soon. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You're always welcome to let me know what you want to see more of. I'm kind of winging this whole YouTube thing. Like, I'm just painting stuff I want to paint, but if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, or like inner workings of the studio or other types of things, let me know. I'd love to share what I can. Thanks, Arna. Yeah, it was so fun for me too. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm gonna go make another coffee because it's the weekend. And I have a party to go to in a bit, but I'm also gonna clean the apartment, shower, make lunch, and do a bit of phone time and hang out with my kittens. So that's my life, if you were curious. I'll post this final thing on my Instagram story, and then I'll put it up as a print on my website if that is interesting to anybody. Okay. Boyfriend instead of unconditional love, lol. Yeah, no, you got a point. Okay, well, thanks. Yeah, you missed it, Piper, but we'll do more. We just finished, but you can see Raindrop and Drop Top, who, by the way, I met some cats called Raindrop and Drop Top a few years ago, and I was like, when I get two, I'm calling them that, so I can't credit myself for the name. Okay, bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining. This was so fun, and I'll see you later.